Hey there, Taurus, and welcome to your October 2025 tarot reading. I'm going to begin by pulling 3 cards from this beautiful Salvador Dali deck to get a bird's eye view, big picture of what's been going on with you lately, what's coming up for you this October and beyond. And I'll continue by clarifying the messages that come through by pulling cards from another deck. So we've just made it through a very pivotal month of September. We've had an eclipse season. It's just been underway. And if you want to go deeper into what your eclipse season was all about from late August into early October and beyond into next February and March, I will link that reading down below for you. But for now, if this is what you're here for, let's jump into your October reading. Starting with the 3 of Swords in reverse, the High Priestess in reverse, and we have another reversal with the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so when we see 3s in tarot, we're often looking at a period of growth, a period of abundance. But when these reverse, what we're seeing is some sort of a doubt coming through around something paying off for you, something working out, something going well overall. So your intuition in October is trying to reach you with a quite important message. That's often what the High Priestess is all about, you know, some sort of an inner knowing. It's almost like this is suggesting that you know the right course of action. You really deep down know what would be in highest and best for you. But for whatever reason, this judgment or wisdom is somewhat blocked, and I want to clear up these cards to figure out how to access this knowledge, this hidden wisdom, this instinct of yours that is just buried below the surface of your awareness at this time. And from what I can see, the 3 of Swords in reverse, you know, there's been a lot of pain lately. 3 of Swords upright. I think this is such a just gorgeous version. I think a Venusian like yourself might appreciate the sort of the imagery on this card, you know. This is talking about some sort of a rescue, a mission, somebody being saved, a kind of underworld experience, a dark night of the soul almost. In the reversal, that actually tells me that you have just recently come out of a period of underworld, archetypal, very deeply psychological, painful exploration. So something has happened when we see the 3 of Swords that has caused some suffering in your world. But when we see that reversing, we see the swords are starting to fall away at this time. They're not piercing your heart quite as viciously, as painfully at least. So the 3 of Swords tells me in reversal that you're just coming out of a period of sadness and strife. And that is maybe why your judgment is still a little clouded, because you have a wariness about you. You're still carrying a certain amount of pessimism, or you're still fraught with something. And the 3 of Pentacles coming through in reverse, is telling me that you actually kind of doubt your support systems now. You're not really sure about who you can trust. And I don't know if this is rooted in fear or anxiety. The High Priestess in the reversal, as intuitive as she is upright, she can be more prone to fear-based thinking or anxiety in reverse. So obviously you know yourself when to be vigilant, right? But I wonder, are you carrying the wounds and projecting that pain and disappointment onto your current reality? where in some way it may not be necessary to do so. Let's start clearing this reading up with some more cards. Okay, so we've started off a little heavier. Obviously just take what resonates and leave the rest. But now I want to figure out how to navigate this period, how to possibly uplift the energy and get through the month of October, tapping into your intuition more and more, and you navigating this month in a way that feels more true to yourself, more honest and more transparent. So let's clear up that Three of Swords in reverse. Now would be a great time for you, upright at this bottom of the deck, Three of Swords, but now would be a great time for you to subscribe, hit the like, share, leave me a comment. I want to look at what's under this Three of Swords to kind of tell me about the nature of what's been going on. But a Six of Wands and the King of Swords are coming through. This is a bit more triumphant looking. It's certainly more decisive and possibly more fearless or brave. But what was the nature of this pain? Three of Swords upright with the Two of Swords in reverse, injustice. It was quite difficult for you in September, I would say, basically not having the sense of empowerment to make the decisions, in a way that felt very informed. So it almost seems like for some of you, you weren't able to refuse something. You were blocked when it came to giving your opinion or sharing your insight. You were blocked from making a choice from a place of empowerment, and knowledge is power, right? So you didn't have all the information. Some of you were blocked from making a decision and you didn't get a say in it, and something was almost taken out of your hands, and the consequences of that are playing out now. And I think you've learned a lot from putting your trust in certain places or in people when you knew best, really. You knew what was best for you. For whatever reason, be it that you were misled, Three of Swords, betrayed would be more extreme, or just that you assumed the best, and maybe you weren't really given an option to have much of a say. Maybe you weren't really given an option to freely speak about this or explore your opportunities or avenues, and for that reason you kind of felt stifled or boxed in, and you actually kind of felt blocked. And the Justice card tells me that there are consequences to ignoring our intuition, and usually the cost of ignoring our intuition is emotional turmoil. So that's been something you've been processing, possibly learning from in a bigger way. And from that kind of experience, I get the impression that you're ready now to put your best foot forward. I think that you are getting more confident again, certainly more decisive. So you want to take the reins again and step into this King of Swords energy where you're actually the one with the final say. And I think that would be a great way to heal, to repair, just to kind of harness back a sense of control in a way. So the King of Swords could have shown up for you. Doesn't have to be this kind of like medical professional that we usually associate with the King of Swords, or a financial or legal representative. These are people that sometimes we see like this kind of an academic kind of a character, somebody who has like a title, a professional like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be one of those people that came through in September that kind of either dominated you or led the way forward for you. So what could have happened is you've been dealing with several different experts or people that have had more of a say than you, or have kind of just kind of taken the lead. And maybe you've now found somebody in that bracket that has kind of rewritten or kind of reworked in a way that now makes things better. Like they've problem solved, they've troubleshooted for you. That's possible. So as the month of September drew to a close and we're entering October, it seems like you feel more successful in your endeavors and that this is kind of going to work out better for you. I think that at the same time, Taurus, what you might be dealing with is a little bit of embarrassment. The Six of Wands is like a very visible card, you know, and they are really popular. So you might be a person that has like, that is well known in your community, in your profession, that is well known in, I don't know, social media, or maybe you're like a local celebrity or more. And for that reason, you felt that there was a lot, you were vulnerable in a way because there was more attention on you, or there were more questions waiting to be answered by you. So there was a bit of pressure there as well. Okay, so moving into the present energy of the High Priestess in reverse. Let's see what your intuition is trying to communicate with you this October. I have the Five of Swords and the Page of Pentacles in reverse at the bottom of the deck. The Moon card is there. Okay, Taurus. The Moon card is very much about what's hidden, what's cloaked, what's in the subconscious, what's sort of under our sort of scope of awareness. In the reversal, this becomes a bit more urgent, especially with the High Priestess. This is not to ring the alarm in any way, but when I see these cards together with this kind of more conniving energy of the Five of Swords, I do wonder how the people around you are treating you. Now, a card of communication, the Page of Pentacles thrown in the mix here, speaks to me about gossip and half-truths, lies even. Miscommunication maybe, but there is a sort of edge to it with the Five of Swords. So I feel like your high priestess in reverse is kind of here to maybe caution a little bit and say, you don't have to tell everybody everything, you know? That scroll that you're keeping kind of close to your chest, maybe your intuition is saying pull back, withdraw, don't reveal. It's okay to keep this private and close to home, and simply because you maybe can't fully trust people at this time. I get that. I felt like that came through very much in the initial poll with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, so it's just like clarifying to me that for this reading for Taurus, you know, I don't think your last couple of readings have necessarily been like this, but at least for this period of time, Taurus, you are being warned about a possible snake in the grass, okay? Or somebody who is superficial and not really truly themselves, okay? So as much as knowledge is power for you, information is power too. You get to choose, Page of Pentacles, who you share your data with. Now, I think that there's a sort of give and take here. So Taurus, the data collection, that's something you need to be aware of too. Are you going around taking information from others, gathering up, asking questions? instead of sharing and being vulnerable. So you have to watch for both sides of this. If you're being vulnerable from a place of like authenticity, and then you're naturally going to attract people who are more genuine. But if you're also somebody who is trying to keep secrets and keep things guarded, which in a way, yes, you know, you want to be using your discernment around who you trust and don't. But if this is a kind of default, maybe way that you relate to others in general for the most part, where you kind of ask a lot of questions and don't reveal too much about yourself, you may also attract people that are disingenuous and not willing to share, or maybe even misrepresent you. It's just going to be a month where you should be kind of checking in on who's in your inner circle, and do you vibe with them? Like in general, are they good people, and do they have a strong moral compass? Not just superficially nice and polite and charming. Like, can you really tell that these people are like salt of the earth almost? Let's have a look at the Three of Pentacles in reverse now. I want to say one more thing about that October as well. Just that most likely you're going to be hearing some information. You're going to be likely to be told somebody's business. You're most likely going to be hearing secrets being revealed. You're going to be let in on something. And what you choose to do with that is obviously up to you. Yeah, the Tower and the King of Cups. Could be explosive. It could be dramatic. You really could be getting some serious tea coming your way. You could be getting information about a person in your world that takes you by surprise. So the Tower and the King of Cups, this is a very cleansing energy. This is very much about getting to the bottom of something. The King of Cups is a person that might come through towards the end of the month. This is an energy for Scorpio. So I know the sun moves into Scorpio around the 22nd of the month. Let me just have a look at that. Yeah, so yeah, on the 22nd of the month, the sun moves into Scorpio. So really any time from October 22nd onwards, you're most likely going to be encountering somebody who is here to help you peel back a layer, a veil of illusion, who kind of holds up a mirror to you and coaxes you or provokes you, or invites you into being more truthful, fostering more intimacy, more depth. You're kind of staying above the surface lately, Taurus. This might be a protection, this might be kind of a recuperation, a recalibration, but it's only going to serve you for so long until it seems that whatever is disingenuous, or whoever is disingenuous in your world right now, it's going to come to the surface. It's going to stop working, which is essentially the Three of Pentacles in reverse. It's going to stop working out for you. I'll be honest, you know, if you have been living a lie, if somebody is misleading you or lying to you, yes, this is a time where that could just stop working out. So take the lead on this, you know. Get into sort of an advantageous position and kind of put yourself in the driving seat here. So the Tower really won't disturb anything in your world that is pure, that is rooted in integrity and truth, and that is real. The Tower won't disturb any foundations that are stable and secure. So whatever kind of is longing to be stripped away at this time in your life, will leave behind something really real and lasting and true. If anything in your work or circle of friends, if anything that you're on a committee of or team or association, if there's any kind of deceit there, it probably is going to come to a head or come to the surface. The King of Cups, the people or the person that is still standing by your side after this period of time, is somebody who truly sees you, accepts you, and loves you. And this is the kind of person that would take you in if you had nothing to offer. And so this is somebody who truly unconditionally loves you. And there are people like that, and maybe you've overlooked them lately, or maybe, you just need a reminder. I think they'll show up for you this month as well. Okay, pretty intense reading, Taurus, so it won't be for everybody, I get that. Take what resonates, leave the rest, and I'll catch up with you again soon.